Thank you. Again, thank you for inviting me to the event. Although, of course, I'd love to be with you in person and get my traditional photograph taken, and because it creates a new memory for me. So I hope to give you a better understanding of the importance of involving people affected by dementia in research and projects, the challenges we face, our vision, and why it is of value. Dementia is one of the biggest current challenges which our society is facing. So to be able to support people currently living with dementia and our future generations of people who may develop dementia, we all need to work together, clinicians, researchers, companies, politicians, and also people who are directly affected by the condition. Public-private partnership, which allow all of these stakeholders to work together, are therefore of great importance. And I would like to congratulate IMI for having helped to make this possible over the last decade. And I'm pleased to have been part of that work. When I was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's type of dementia, I was a wife to Sean, I was a mother to Martin, and I was a sister to 8 siblings. I had a professional career, and I was a highly active citizen, and I was passionate about human rights. And this was my life before dementia crept in and robbed me of my short-term memory. It was like a slow realization that a fog had descended on your life and was there for good. I was forgetting words, I was stopping mid-sentence, and I was wondering what I was about to say. Family life became difficult as I was forgetting everyday things like recipes or something important Sean or Martin had told me. So now, ladies, you can imagine how 2 men felt that I couldn't remember all the important things that said to me. I was fortunate to meet a nurse who suggested I get involved in research, and this led me to Trinity College Dublin, who are participating in research with the Alzheimer's Society of Ireland. Back then, we did not use the words public involvement. However, it was the beginning of my journey with research and public involvement. That research project was the first step I took into becoming a national and international dementia advocate. It also led me to Alzheimer's Europe and its European Working Group of People with Dementia. Since then, I've been involved in the activities of Alzheimer's Europe for almost 8 years now. Most of this time, as I said earlier, as chair of the European Working Group, and now as a member. I was very proud to see that Alzheimer's Europe participated as a full partner in several IMI projects, including, among others, EPAD, Roadmap, MAPAD, Radar AD, Paradigm, and Etiotomy. In these projects, Alzheimer's Europe has played different roles, including communication and dissemination of the project's activities and findings, contributing towards discussions of ethical and social implications of the project and public involvement activities. The members of the European Working Group have also participated in many of these projects, and this has helped to ensure the voice of people affected by dementia are taken into account. We are the experts by experience and can bring a unique perspective of what it is like to live with dementia, what is meaningful to us, and how we would like science to support us. We want to be involved in research about the condition we're living with. This gives us an opportunity to have an influence on these projects and make a difference to people involved and hopefully to the wider community. To achieve this, public involvement activities need to be carefully planned, not just a last-minute thought, as happens on a regular basis, or used to. We are delighted, grateful, and eager to have our voices heard, and we now have come to view PI as a fundamental part of any research project, not an add-on, and certainly not something we should be grateful for. A rights-based approach to research can address this inequality. The meaningful involvement of people affected by dementia should underpin all research projects, and such involvement must have a rights perspective. Best practice is to involve people living with dementia from the start. We want to set the questions, to think about the issues that merits questioning. We want to move from being research participants to being research instigators, and critically to have the right to be involved in the governance and management. To achieve successful involvement in research projects, the specific needs and wishes of people involved need to be addressed as to ensure that the researchers of the projects can work closely with us. The work of people with dementia has impacted different IMI projects in many ways. For example, we've been working very closely with Radar ID team. This project is looking at functioning in Alzheimer's disease. In particular, they want to understand how remote technology, such as wearables or sensors in the home of the person, could be used to monitor how a person functions. Our first meeting with the Radar ID team was at month 3 of the project. We were able to discuss and help the researchers to reflect on what functioning was and means to us, and which aspects are more relevant in our daily lives. We were also heavily involved in the work to choose which devices to use in the research study. When looking at the possible devices, we were concerned, for example, that participants and in the future, people with Alzheimer's disease could feel stigmatized if the devices used could somehow single people out. We also felt that the devices need to be easy to wear, nice and comfortable, but we also advised researchers to consider other more practical issues such as being waterproof, lifelong batteries, or sending regular reminders to participants so they don't forget charging the device and putting it back afterwards. The participants in the study need to receive clear and easy understanding information about the study. And this is really important to us that it's clear. Why the participants are important and what will we be asked to do, or in this case, for example, about the devices which we will be using. Participants also need to be supported during the time they're involved in the study. Having someone to contact or receiving a phone call from researchers can help reassure people with dementia participating in research. We want to build a friendship. We want to build a good relationship. It has been a pleasure to see the great collaboration between Radar ID team and people with dementia. We really feel our voices are heard, and more importantly, we are seriously taken into account, and that is really rewarding. We had similar collaborations with other IMI projects, such as Roadmap. In this project, we promoted a better understanding of concepts around disease progression and meaningful outcomes. Researchers and clinicians often discuss about the different stages of dementia, the progression of the disease, and more nowadays about the possibility to delay the onset of dementia or its progression. This is a very relevant topic for people living with this condition, and thus it is important that our views, concerns, and suggestions are always present. The European Working Group has also contributed to discussions on ethical and social implications of several projects and reflected on important issues such as privacy, data sharing, and data protection. Over the last years, we've had several meetings with researchers from different projects and on different topics. I'm particularly glad to see that a lot of this work with our group has been published in reports which are open to the public, has been presented at conferences, and also in some cases has been published in scientific journals. In these articles, Alzheimer's Europe has been co-author, and our contribution has been acknowledged. It is also very gratifying to see that many of the researchers leading these IMI projects felt that the role of the European Working Group was crucial and that it had a very important impact on the project. Involvement from the design stage helps the ethos of the programme and ultimately its meaningfulness. It is also important to bear in mind that public involvement work is part of ongoing and reciprocal relationship where both the person affected by dementia and researchers respect and trust each other. This work, we hope, is having an important impact on projects, people who participated in these projects, and ultimately in the wider dementia community. We are helping researchers to make decisions and addressing issues in a way which we think is more meaningful and relevant to many people affected by dementia. This is bettering the research process and hopefully also the experience of people who are taking part in research studies. We are also helping to change attitudes about the valuable and relevant contributions people with dementia can take. We feel empowered, recognized, and valued. Most of all, it gives us hope, and for now, all we have is hope, as there is no cure for our illness as of yet. In preparing for today, I read a quote about inclusion. It said, "Diversity is being invited to the party. Inclusion is being asked to dance." The European Working Group of People with Dementia, well, we had our dancing shoes ready to contribute, and we were delighted when you invited us to the dance floor. Thanks so much, IMI, for enhancing our lives. We're so grateful that you have chosen us to work with. Thank you.